Happy Tuesday, Course 1. We are ready for new notes, and today's shape is circles. So we're going to talk about the circumference of a circle. Circumference is just a fancy word for perimeter. So if you've ever thought about perimeter of a square, perimeter of a rectangle, perimeter is the distance around something. And we have a new word when it's a circle because a circle is round, and if I go around a round shape, I can't call it perimeter. Go figure, math people have a new word for everything. So perimeter is the word for circumference. Okay, we've got two more vocabulary words here. We've got diameter and radius. Okay, a diameter is all the way across the circle. It has to go through the center, but it's going to go all the way across, left to right, top to bottom, one side to the other side, all the way across. But the radius only goes halfway across. The radius starts at the center and goes out, or starts on the edge and goes to the center, however you want to think about it. So I've got some pictures here. This is a diameter. It goes all the way across the circle. This is a radius. This is a diameter. This is a radius. This is a radius. Okay, so let's suppose the picture gave us a diameter and the diameter was 14. So this number is 14. Okay, I want you to do the math and tell me just how much that piece is. Just the halfway across number. Did you say 7? 7 is the correct answer. If this had been centimeters, then we would have 7 centimeters. Okay, next picture. This guy is only halfway across. So he's going to be a radius. Let's say his radius is 20 inches. Radius is 20 inches. You do the math and tell me what would all the way across be. If this piece is 20, how much would the entire diameter be? Well, the whole diameter would be 2 of those, so 40 inches. Okay, let's try the next one. I'm going to give you the entire diameter. This diameter is going to be, let's say it's going to be 11 centimeters. The diameter is 11. Now, it would have been nice if I had given you an even number, but I gave you an odd number. You still have to do the math. Try to tell me the radius. Halfway across would be, well, half of 10, half of 12. Have you figured it out? Half of 10 is 5, half of 12 is 6, so this is 5 and a half. 5.5. Can't really see these colors. So if it's an odd number, it's going to be something and a half. Okay, next picture, I'm going to give you a diameter of, a radius of 6.2. 6.2 inches for the radius. You do the math and tell me what would it be all the way across. 6.2 plus another 6.2. Did you figure it out yet? 12.4. The entire diameter would be 12.4. Okay, let's try this one. What if I told you that the radius was 3.5 centimeters? much would 3.5 and another 3.5 be? Did you say 7? 7 centimeters. All right, this time I'm going to give you a diameter. The diameter is going to be 82 inches. Can you tell me the radius? The radius would be half of that, which is 41. 41 inches. Okay, let's do a little story time. So put the notes to the side. If I created a circle, this circle right here, and I were to measure with a string, I started the string here, and then I continued my string around the circle, and then I laid that string out flat. Okay, and I measured with a ruler how long is the string. Then I took my ruler and I measured the diameter. I measured the diameter. Now, if I were to take those two numbers, the green string and the purple diameter, and if I were to divide them, now I haven't even told you the numbers, but I can tell you the answer. And you're thinking, how does she know the answer? She doesn't even have the numbers. She just has a division problem. Well, every circle, when you divide, you get 3.1415 blah, 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 blah. It's a decimal that never ends. Okay, let's try it again. I'm going to have a huge circle. Well, that kind of looks like an oval. Let me do it again. I'm going to have a huge circle. If I were to lay some string around this circle, if I were to measure across this circle, the numbers would be bigger, right? This green is going to be bigger than this green. This purple is going to be bigger than this purple. But if I took a calculator out and I did green divided by purple, the answer again would be 3.14159 blah, 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 blah. So every time, no matter if I have a big circle or a little circle, if I take the circumference and I divide it by the diameter, it gives me the same number. So because this number shows up all the time, every single circle, math people have given that a name. This number is so special. It happens so often. It's such a weird pattern that circumference, diameter divided gives us this, that it got its own name. And the name is pi, but not apple pie, the Greek letter, 16th letter of the Greek alphabet. So it's only 2 letters, P-I, not P-I-E. The symbol for pi looks like an 11 with a squiggle on top. So if you hear this word or you see this symbol, it means this decimal that goes on forever and ever and ever, never ends, never has a pattern, never has a bar, there's no repeating things, never stops, it just keeps going forever. And it always starts the same. So it's called pi. It looks like this. This is pi. There's even a button on our calculator that if I were to pull it up, then it would type out this number with as many digits as it could fit on the calculator screen. Okay, let's go back to our notes. So my formula says, if I want to know the green string, I want to figure out the circumference, I could take the diameter and multiply it by pi. So circumference equals d times p. Let's write it out. I think I need a little scale. The diameter multiplied by 3.14. We're just going to round it to 3.14 because it doesn't end, so 3 is not very good to round it to, so most math people use 3.14. Okay, here's where we can write, the symbol is called PI. We already wrote the decimal was 3.14, and we're going to use 3.14. Okay, silly me, I don't know. All right, here we go. So, circumference. We want to find the distance around the shape. And I'm going to tell you that this number right here is going to be 7 inches. Okay, so there's 2 lines of work. C equals, C equals. The first C equals is going to say pi times, now this is not diameter. Remember our recipe called for a diameter, but they didn't give me a diameter, but that's not a problem because we just spent all this time practicing how to go back and forth. If I know the diameter, I can figure out the radius. If I know the radius, I can figure out the diameter. Okay, so if the radius is 7, the diameter is going to be 14. Scratch work, 3.14 times 14. Pause the video, do the math multiplication, then hit play and see if you match me. I got 43.96. And my label was inches, so my label is still inches. Pi times the entire diameter. The entire diameter. Okay, next question. This time they tell me the diameter. So the diameter is going to be 12 millimeters. The first line is going to say 12 times pi. Because this time I do have the whole thing. That's what I wanted. I don't have to do any math. It's perfect. 12. 12 times pi. You pause the video, do the multiplication, and see if we match. I ended up with 37.68 millimeters. 37.68. Remember that you're just going to multiply this like normal and then you count at the very end. 1, 2, 1, 2. Okay, next question. This is going to be 12 millimeters. Now, last time the 12 millimeters was a diameter. This time the 12 millimeters is a circumference. I'm sorry, it's a radius. Radius. So, what is your first line of work going to say? It's going to say pi times, well, it can't say pi times 12 because that was this picture. It's going to say pi times 24. The entire diameter is 24. Pause the video, do the multiplication, see if we match. I ended ended up with 75.36 millimeters. Okay, next picture. That's going to be 70 inches. Do the first C and the second C by yourself. Pause the video, then push play when you've got an answer. I ended up with 219.8 inches. Okay, try the next one by yourself. The next one is going to be 60 centimeters. I had 376.8 with a label of centimeters. All right, last question. Push pause, work it out, push play, and see if you get the right answer. I got 15.7, and I didn't have a label, so if we put feet, it would be feet right here. All right, good luck on your homework.